So, you want to become a warlock of sorts? Ah, I love these guys. This is more so an overview of what these guys can do, so yeah, keep that in mind. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. Warlocks are powerful magic casters taking part of a patron's power to further a goal they have, or in other cases, do not understand. Essentially this, a revered monster begetting a new monster, and beginning what could be a malefic legacy, returning a new leaf upon their life with a cost. They are, for an example, tricked, deceived, betrayed, and nearly killed by their friend. But if there is no other option for, let's say, power to stop their friend, becoming a warlock wouldn't be such a terrible option. They'll grow to like this new power, or in the polar opposite point of view, absolutely despise their life choices for doing so. However, a warlock isn't anything without a patron supplying their magical essence. Besides, these patrons could be anyone powerful, like Asmodeus and the Nine Hells, Vecna, the Lord of the Hand and the Eye, the beast from over the garden wall, that curious water horse kelpie thing peering from your nearest lake, even the God Hand! Actually, maybe not the God Hand. It's probably for the best to not strike a deal with them. From those in pursuit of knowledge from beyond the stars and oceanic depths with a Lovecraftian end, to those curious about what happens if they put on some funny pink gloves they found in some closet, Warlock Pacts can appear from any means seen fit, and are arguably the most diverse class possible. They are also an excellent cross-class option, similar to the Sorcerer, from how easy it is to learn their magic system. Honestly, they have the most potential to be the most fascinating character from backstory alone, and with the most flexible foundation to begin with. So many paths to branch into for becoming a warlock, so many nuances which can be rooted deep within a character which could transform into a new identity never thought realized before. This goes in part with their patron, whom can be encountered within the campaign you are a part of, you stumbling upon it in an encounter of sorts set up by your DM, or one you thought of before. Suffice to say, the Warlock is a writer's wet dream for anything to happen within reason. However, one can't merely trade 2 pennies to the King in Yellow to gain the powers to cast Evard's Black Tentacles and Eldritch Blast for free. I recommend working with your DM about how they became a Warlock, their compromises, goals, and the sort for the use of their power. It's also a note for being a Warlock that you are not your patron. You get powers from your patron. I'm going to be taking a great example from XP to level 3 here. Go watch them, by the way. I'm pretty sure they produce way better content than I am right now. Anyways, being a Warlock of Undying will not make you a Lich. You will just have Lich-like powers. Same with being a Warlock of the Fiend, as you are not a devil, just possessing devil-like powers. It's also known that Warlocks do function similar to a spell skirmisher with how their spells return within a short rest, and are the only class with spells that scale up to a certain level every time they hit a certain Warlock level. Trust me on this. Whenever you do choose to cast a damaging spell, it will be catastrophic for those who are caught by it. I suppose it would be the best for me to stop throwing in all this rambling and talking to begin sorting out the levels before touching the subclasses. We'll get to them when we do, as it may be on a different video. And don't worry, the levels would contain a brief explanation of the subclasses. Let's get our hands deep into some undecipherable madness beyond existence, and start with level 1. at level 1, we got
Otherworldly Patron.
This is where you begin your pact with a patron. Be granted their power and do whatever warlocks do, including class-specific features tossed in. Pillage some village. Rob a bank. Destroy some old woman's shoes with an egg. Clean the fucking dishes. Do whatever the patron demands to sustain the power granted onto you, even if it goes against your character's morals. I suppose this is where we also enter into subclasses, which we'll do a quick fire round of what these are, to get an idea of these warlock types. Oh boy, here we go. We got Archfey, Celestial, Fathomless, Fiend, Genie, Great Old One, Hexblade, Undead, and Undying Warlocks. To start off the quickfire list, Archfey Warlocks. They are your personified chaotic middle finger, and with the ability to put others to sleep along with pulling Uno reverse cards on charms, you're essentially a juiced up bard. And, not a bard. It's weird to explain, but those who did play this subclass will understand what I mean. I hope. Second on the list is Celestial Warlocks. They got the power of Holy Light from some angelic being, and can pump as much HP in a single burst as a life domain cleric can with a channel divinity. That's a lot of HP, man. Your heal lock got the powers of a cleric and access to fire and radiant spells. You function as a powerful support warlock, which is something not often seen around D&D, at least if you ask me. Third up is the Fathomless. Do you like tentacles? You played Hydroid from Warframe? Ever wanted to be Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean? This subclass is for you. Being plunged into the ocean's depths never gifted you something greater than the ability to summon the Kraken's limbs as a bonus action, and your slippery tentacles have access to some really neat thematic spells. Personally, this is just my favorite subclass for the theme alone. Oceans are cool, man. Fiend is next, and having devil-like powers is just simple, straight to the point, and arguably fun. You made a deal with Satan himself and been bestowed a gift to hurl those through hell. Throw fireballs, crush those underneath your boot from shrugging off anything non-magical, and be a complete menace to whoever your patron deemed as the next target. That, and with Dark One's blessing, interpreting this as you being a soul sucker has its charms. We got Genie, which is those guys who may or may not have wish, and are likely going to erase your existence with the long game. They hate mortals who decided to fuck with them, but instead of killing you immediately, they give you some of their power to eventually have you die for the hell of it. It's a win in their books. You become a technical half-genie from all this, but not a genasi, which are half-genies. Don't think about this too much. Genie locks can be pretty damn cool thematically though, and the ability to cast up to a 6th level spell from any class, regardless of prerequisites, once you hit a certain level can be devastating. Let me tell you, magic jar shouldn't be in the possession of a maniacal warlock, especially if they can cast it for free as an action. Just know that for the future. Great Old One Warlocks are your classic Cthulhu tale of going mad from witnessing something so cosmically incomprehensible you somehow, in proxy, became a part of their great plan. Either that, or reading some really dusty-ass books with forbidden knowledge one mortal cannot merely learn just yet, sitting in some fucking library of some sort, probably in your house too. Colloquially named Gulocks got access to some psychic powers, spells, and some really shitty abilities. Please, rework this subclass, guys. This one desperately needs it. Just fucking fix it. Come on, guys. Come on. The Hexblade is easy to explain for those who are familiar with watching or reading The Lord of the Rings. Some powerful magic sentient artifact has gotten in your grasp and became inseparable from your being, and together you've become what one could call a spooky eldritch knight fighter in a warlock skin. I know that's exaggeration, but it definitely feels like it. It definitely feels like it. This symbiotic relationship also makes you grow stronger over time, which is nice, though the odds of you surviving is pretty low now I think about it. They're super easy to explain, along with the easiest to make a pact with, and with the fact that they can curse folks, create spirit summons from dead corpses, and be a hex-casting addict, these guys are nothing to scoff at in close quarters combat. Just go watch that video about hex blades are scary. Just do it. Alright, oh god, we're nearly done with the quick fire round. Getting close to the finish, just bear with me please, okay? We have up next, the Undead Warlock. Honestly, this one is something I'm unfamiliar with, and it's pretty new to me. However, reading over it, and essentially just glossing over what I know, the idea of willingly, or unwillingly, depending on you, becoming an undead immediately can be pretty sick. Being infused with necrotic energy from your patron, you can choose to transform into some spooky skeleton to gain temporary HP, gain immunity to necrotic damage, and literally untether your spirit from the physical boundaries of your body to do some spooky ghost shenanigans up to 1 hour. Hot damn, you get some metal stuff with being a living corpse. Last, but possibly least, the Undying Warlock. Wait, have we already covered an Undead Warlock as is? Why do it again? Well, frankly, this one has a different function and is arguably the most bleak journey to anyone becoming this Warlock subclass. They are also my personal favorite from a tragedy standpoint. You essentially follow after Lucatiel Amira in Dark Souls 2, from the process of having your body's functionality slowly shut down, and doomed to die as a lifeless, hollowed husk, gone mad in an easily disposable army. Unlike the Undead subclass, which you are an undead from transforming back and forth with an ability, this one is about the process of becoming an undead permanently, and the implications of what happens when someone goes through this pivotal event. It's narratively the most fascinating, at least to me, and the responses one can have could be incredibly impactful. Although not the strongest subclass around mechanically, their access to lich-like powers to come back alive from entering a death state, undead passing you by as if one of their own, and reattaching limbs back to your body can be a pretty neat gimmick to play with. Alright? Are we done? Are we done with the quickfire round? We are? Oh, good. Good. Level 1 is also where you get this neat feat that is hard to beat called Pact Magic. I believe I explained it earlier, as in long ago in this video, somewhere. To quickly reiterate, this is where you get your magic where, unlike other spellcasters, you get all your spell slots back on a short and or long rest. Neat! They also get the cool benefit of said slots scaling up in power every time you level up. Like, for example, 2 first level spell slots to 2 second level spell slots for free. However, from this power, you cannot have a spell slot available at a lower level, as for example, casting Arms of Hadar with a free level 1 spell slot when you have 2 level 3 spell slots available to you. And you cannot go past 5th level spells, which really sucks. It really sucks, especially since it gates you from some really cool and powerful spells. Although Mystic Arcanum will come down the line. We're already jumping the gun at the mere mention of Mystic Arcanum. So let's get to level 2. At level 2, you gain
Eldritch Invocations.
These are broken down to what one could call mini-feats for Warlock and can influence the playstyle of them. We got some really damn good invocations, and some invocations which are... why? These can span to the ability of having advantage on concentration saves with Eldritch Mind, improving the Hex spell with both Maddening Hex and Relenting Hex, gaining a new ability to use like Levistus' Tomb, a free spell to use like Mire the Mind, Sculptor of Flesh, Shroud of Shadow, Sign of Ill Omen, etc., etc., to just Eldritch Blast upgrades. Come on, guys. Come on. You can get more creative than using only one cantrip every time for every encounter. Come on, guys. Seriously. Come on. Try a little harder. Some of these invocations have prerequisites, which is super cool. And some of these can fundamentally change the Warlock playstyle for whatever campaign you're placed in. At level 3, you get the power of Pact Boons. Pact Boons are admittedly nice quality of life improvements, but some are clearly better than others. Looking at you, Pact of the Blade. Pact Boons are something your patron will grant, and function as a passive to use with their own little playstyle fitted in. Once again, we'll do a quick fire round with these Pact Boons, though luckily these are pretty easy to explain. To begin once more, we got Pact of the Blade. As mentioned before, this is a popular choice for the simple fact of you get a weapon in your hands with no hassle. It could be a sword, a hammer, a shotgun, somebody's thighs, traffic cones, nuclear missile silos, anything really. It also counts as magical too, with the weapon being proficient in your hands, so what is more to love with this? Seriously guys, this is really good. Maybe a little too good for its own good. We also got Pact of the Tome, a simple yet very effective pact which grants you a tome with more cantrips for free, with the benefit of not adding to your already known cantrips. Best part about this is these cantrips from any class. Can I also mention these 3 cantrips are casted at will as long as you have the tome in your grasp? Yeah, go nuts with that information. We also have our third Pact Boon, Pact of the Chain. You gain Find Familiar for free without counting against your spells known, with the power of it being a ritual spell, which, for your itty bitty teeny weeny spell slots, is a blessing. You also get the choice of what this familiar would be, like an imp, a pseudo-dragon, a quasit, or a sprite. You can also choose to forego an attack of your own to have this familiar of yours, to use its reaction to attack too. Some cool wombo combos can come out of this, especially if you count the possibility of both multi-attack and a fighter's action surge. Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. Last, but oh my god, maybe arguably the least, is Pact of the Talisman. You get a talisman, a necklace, a pendant, a neck brace, or whatever the fuck that is worn around the neck, to be granted an ability to add a 1d4 to your ability check up to your proficiency level. That's literally it. It's somehow a vaguely shittier resistance cantrip, except only to yourself. I guess it's useful in some clutch situations, but this needs a touch-up down the line. I have it homebrewed to function like a shittier version of Bardic Inspiration instead for flexibility. We'll be here all day if I peel back the layers for this one. I wouldn't count Unearthed Arcana of a pact, but I'll share it here for those interested as a picture. However, please ask your DM to make sure this is remotely okay to use, as this can be potentially busted within the settings of their campaign. Just a word of advice is all. At level 4, it's ability score improvement. Yeah, that's it. That's it, really. From level 4, level 8, level 12, level 16, and level 19. Wait. I remember a thing. There's an optional class bit with every ability score improvement for Warlocks called Eldritch Versatility. Now, I recommend asking your DM about this before involving this little thing. but it breaks down to being able to change one cantrip along with changing any Eldritch invocations if whatever cantrip you swapped out made them useless. Just a point of reference there. Any features from your Pact boon with other features of said Pact boon, and any Mystic Arcanum spells to be swapped out once you reach that far. Lots of quality of life stuff for your little warlock. Thank you. At level, let's see, level 11. Jeez, that's actually really far. Mystic Arcanum. Excluding the little otherworldly patron features you get for your subclass, which, again, I'll get to them when needed. And by needed, I mean another video. This essentially grants you the ability to cast a spell at level 6 all the way up to level 9 once before a long rest. You get one Mystic Arcanum spell at level 11, level 13, level 15, and level 17, with each level going from 6 to 9 respectively. I mean, ouch. This kind of sucks for your spell list. Even worse that these are one-time casts. It's cool to have these, but ouch. Oh, let's see. Is there something of worth in this? Level 20! You get something unreal. The most powerful ability known beyond the cosmos. And only a handful of warlocks will ever reach this point to essentially become a patron themselves. So few ever became this powerful. So few even cause their patrons to shudder in fear from their mere presence alone. You get Eldritch Master. You can spend 1 minute to regain all your expended spell slots and requires a long rest to use this feature again. Okay, this skit is over. Mask off. Just mask off. Mask off. This is just lame. I suppose you are super powerful now, being this far as a warlock. I guess just throw in some small things here to make this milestone marginally better. At least from me. Reaching level 20 allows you, under the DM's discretion, to have you serve as a Pact patron option thing for the fledgling warlocks to take allegiance to. It's neat. At least, I guess. It gives you a new purpose for the future until someone becomes your successor down the line. That or they die trying. Whichever gets to them first. That's all I can say about the warlock here. There's not much else to say. I guess, you got through all the levels. Well, I suppose you hit the end of the video now. Not that this was anything remotely good. I hope this video here at least provides some insight to whatever you're looking for in a warlock. Some new ideas and concepts to toy with, and maybe some lighthearted comedy thrown in the mix to break up the pace, even if, again, I'm pretty sure I'm not funny. It's subjective, of course, but I really do hope this helps. There will be a part 2 of this video to dive into the individual subclasses of Warlock, and would serve as a small companion piece to learn more on them, while maintaining a simple explanation. I mean, as simple as I could get it here. If there are more subclasses or changes in the future, then yeah, maybe I'll make a video related to it, throw it in there down the line. But it depends on what Wizards of the Coast would do. Time will tell. Well, see ya, I guess.